Yo, yo, you're what's good, people? How's everybody doing? This is a completely random live stream out of nowhere. Just give me a few seconds. We're gonna get started. I just wanted to kind of do this quick live stream, to give you my thoughts on what they could possibly do for the future of Star Wars, to kind of just grab old fans and just people that are fans of the originals. I think there's still hope for them to get them back on board and right the ship, because I saw The Rise of Skywalker twice last night. So it's still fresh in my head. I have a lot of ideas. If y'all want to check out my take on the movie, definitely go check out my review on my channel. Definitely go check that out, because walking out of it, I still feel the how I feel in my review. I still like the movie. Does it have its problems? Is there issues? Yes, but I say that about every single Star Wars movies. There's issues with it, but me, I'm just I just really enjoyed the movie for what it was. Does it take liberties on certain aspects of Star Wars as a whole? Yes, but I think they can go in a direction now that they don't have to focus so much on the Skywalkers anymore, which I think, in my opinion, is a good idea. And I always felt like that has always been the issue with just Star Wars movies. They heavily rely on Skywalkers a little bit too much, to where it kind of holds back other stories to be being told. And I understand that Star Wars has always been about the Skywalkers. And I got one person watching. Who's this? Announce yourself. But yeah, I just gonna kind of want to talk about Star Wars and what the future may be for the franchise as a whole, because I definitely think that there's more Star Wars movies to be made. There's definitely a lot that you could still explore. I don't think it's completely dead. Um, Give me a second. So yeah, I kind of look at this two ways, right? They could either continue going the direction that they're going now and kind of make Rey the main focus for the next trilogy, and possibly I would actually like them to kind of possibly get away from doing sagas like this, unless if they really want to build this up to be something more epic, if that makes any sense. Um, so if they were to continue with Rey, what I would do is, have it be like maybe 10 years after The Rise of Skywalker, maybe 15 or 20, give or take, just a random guesstimate. Have the actors age a little bit over time. Start us off with, a new bunch of characters. And then, keep this in mind. This is only if they decide to keep Rey in the story and whatnot. This is one direction they could possibly go in. So you have it be, let's just say, for all intents and purposes, like it's 20 years into the future. You know, there's been balance once again. Rey's off doing her own thing, kind of not necessarily doing what Luke is doing, but continuing what Luke has started with, just starting up a whole new Jedi temple, or teaching a bunch of different students. On the other side of it, you have a group of people, just random, random group of people that are influenced by the Sith. Like you might have their leader that's obsessed with the Sith knowledge and wanting to obtain that power, and kind of, and this is where they could kind of steer the ship in the right direction with Star Wars and kind of get old fans back. And you can have this new group of Sith, Sith followers, or whatever the fuck you want to call them, dark side followers, or they're just obsessed with the dark side. Have it be a crew. Have it be a crew of like dark side users or something like that. And they kind of, I don't know how people would feel about this. They might be thinking like, oh, they're just copying from the EU or, whatever the fuck. I think it would be a good idea is if you have these dark side users kind of dig into the past and they find out about the rule of two. At least the leader does, and he kind of wants to restart that. Not necessarily they're fully aware of Palpatine. They're fully aware of Vader. In this world, pretty much, I'll give you two scenarios, but this is if they were to continue with Rey's story and whatnot. This is what I would do. One of the things I would do is that after these 20 years, everybody knows what the Force is. They're fully aware of it. It's like the original trilogy where you have a bunch of, not the original trilogy, but the prequels, how you have a bunch of Jedi running around and you have a bunch of Sith running around, but the people that are dark side users and stuff, there's just different factions, there's different groups, they have different beliefs, and they're not all, on the same, they're not all on the same page. They all have different motives on why they chose the dark side, and then you could introduce gray Jedis, the people that are in between. I would like to see more of that, honestly. I want to see more of that. People that use kind of both sides. There's not necessarily like pure-hearted Jedis out there anymore. It's just there's people out there that just use the light side of the Force opposed to the dark side, but anyways, with the dark side users, that would be really interesting to see them kind of like dig up the past and kind of start the rule of two. And you don't necessarily, and I wouldn't have the person necessarily restart what Palpatine wanted, but to complete this whole entire thing, you could have the trilogy of just these dark side users trying to get Rey. So, because what they introduced in Rise of Skywalker was kind of interesting, the way that they passed down power and whatnot. And they figured out a way how they can tap into an individual's power. That would be really interesting for them to, you have the dark side users pretty much using the wanting to drag to lure Rey out so they can take her power pretty much to start this whole thing all over again, between the Jedi and the Sith. But that's just something just off the top of my head. I would like to see that, or here's another scenario I could kind of give y'all, that if they wanted to completely distance themselves from the sequel trilogy, which I'm also completely fine with. I'm always down with new ideas, new characters, and new directions, as long as it kind of just makes sense. And I think more people would like this idea more, because there's a lot of people that have disdain for the sequel trilogy and what it's done, to where you could have this take place, hell, even 100 years after Rise of Skywalker. I want to shout out everybody for tuning in. We're just talking about the future of what they could do with the franchise and whatnot. I'm not going to spoil nothing from the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, don't worry about that. I'm just talking about strictly what they could possibly do in the future. So I already gave you, an explanation. If y'all want to hear like my little brief explanation about like if they were to continue the series with Rey and her story, to just kind of briefly catch y'all up, pretty much you could have it be set 20 years into the future, 20, 30 years into the future, something like that. And everybody's aware of the Force. It's like you're imagine just watching the prequels. It's kind of that vibe. Like people are aware of the Sith. The people are aware of the Jedi, completely aware of that. You have different factions of dark side users. You have different factions of light side users. You have people in between. You just have a whole different mixture of Force users in this universe. There's no Skywalkers. There's no, this is completely, its own thing. And I would have it if they were to continue with Rey's story, just have the dark side users kind of be obsessed with the past, kind of, and digging up the past. They can reintroduce the Rule of Two. They can, maybe expand it or do something different with it. They might look at the Rule of Two like we can probably improve on this by just, teaming up. But that's the race side of things. I want to go into a completely different direction. No, I think a lot more people would like, because like I said, a lot of people don't like the way this sequel trilogy went. Me personally, I thought it was cool for what it was. It is what it is. There's no really turning back, but I think there's room for improvement. There's room that you can definitely get old fans back on board. We go 100 years into the future, right? Maybe let's just guesstimate 50 to 100 years into the future, and similar concept to the whole Rey thing. You have just a bunch of different Jedi, a bunch of different. Well, now let's not say Jedi, because let's just say light side Force users, and then dark side Force users, and you got the people in between, and everybody's aware of this. Everybody is conscious of what's going on. Everybody pretty much knows what the Force is. It's not a myth anymore, or how it was in the sequels, how they kind of made it like a myth. It hasn't been around or talked about in a while. Everybody's aware of it. There's certain boundaries, certain groups of people have truths, and you have certain dark side users, like groups that are like planning something that they've been planning for generations, and they're finally about to do it. So they can I know a lot of people wouldn't like this idea, but I think this would be interesting for them to do this, to kind of reset things. Is if they took a Knights of the Old Republic kind of twist to it. Not exactly word for word, but like you just have a huge amount of dark side users just come together. They've been building up this plan for like 100 years, and they're ready to just completely take back control and whatnot. And it goes back to just being Star Wars again, to where the playing field is even. Like you have just as many light side users as dark side users, but certain groups break certain truths, or and things just completely escalate and get out of hand. You gotta have 100 years of peace. That would be really interesting. I just think there's a lot you can still do with this franchise. I don't think it's completely dead. Like I said, they can start pulling stuff from little bits of little hints of the EU or something like that. Just little things, not completely just taking things out of like. Give me a second. Sorry about that. But you could just take certain elements and kind of expand on them, evolve. One thing I liked about the sequel trilogy is that they kind of evolved what the power of the Force and what you're capable of doing. And I would like to see that, like, what would the Force look like 100 years from now? What are people able to do? What are people able to do? Maybe, like, I don't know. It's just I just have a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas. This is just kind of strictly off the top of my head. It's nothing too crazy, but I would like to see them go far into the future, to be honest. But if they, like I said, if they want to continue Rey's story and kind of just give her own trilogy type of, that's based around her and kind of complete her whole story, I'm cool with that. I'm completely fine with that. But I can understand how that would rub some people the wrong way. A lot of people don't like Rey as a character, don't like any of those new characters, and that's fine. And that's why I say, like, maybe they should just completely go into the future instead of going all the way into the past, because it's still we already know where it's going to end up. I want to see where it's going to go from now. So those are kind of just my ideas. I wonder what you guys think about those ideas. Like, what are some of your ideas for the future of this franchise? Would you like to see a continuation of Rey's story and them kind of, going in a different direction, more original ideas, or would you just want them to completely distance themselves from that sequel trilogy and just the Skywalker saga in general? And that's another thing. I don't think they should do saga films anymore. I think they should just stick to doing just trilogies. You'll have this trilogy and that goes into the next trilogy, and then, like, that completes the next story. I think making them a whole saga of films, just like I'm doing a whole nother episode type of format. I don't think they could do that again. I think they just got to go in a completely different direction with this franchise. And like I said, I think to please old fans, you make certain changes, even if you have to. Even though I think they have an idea on what they want to retcon, they might go back and retcon all these three movies going forward. Who knows? It's definitely interesting to me. It's definitely interesting to me. Me personally, like I said, I like the sequel trilogies. Are they perfect? No. I honestly just am really curious to see where they go, man. I really want to explore different planets. I'm sick of seeing fucking Jakku and just all these same looking planets and stuff. Like, all these planets kind of look the same. We get the same type of characters all the time. I want to see different, different characters. I want to see a bounty hunter with some fucking force abilities, something like that, something crazy, or just like a hybrid of two different things. I think that would be interesting. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm gonna start winding this down, and doesn't seem like I got a lot of people coming in. Maybe this is the time of day. People are busy doing stuff right now. Maybe we could talk about this more in the future. I'm not going to talk about too much Star Wars on this channel, because that's just not what my channel is. But if I have an idea, I'll definitely want to just share it with the world. That's the whole purpose of this platform. But let me know in the comments below what you would do with Star Wars. Would you, like I said, continue with Rey's story and just go in a completely different direction, or just start from kind of scratch and go way into the future, so you kind of distance yourself from the sequel trilogy? Or what I know a lot of people don't want, but at this point, I think people, I don't think people would care about, like, well, I'm not saying like people wouldn't care, but I think based off of people's reaction to Rise of Skywalker, I think people wouldn't be opposed to a reboot, a complete reboot. Let's start this whole thing over again. Let's do it one more time. Let's see if we can get it right. But a reboot, I don't think will ever happen for at least another 50 years from now. It's got to be so far into the future. Like, the generation that grew up with Star Wars would have to pretty much die, for that to happen. That would really piss people off. Imagine that. Even though I think Star Wars could be rebooted. You can get, we still, even though Mark Hamill will always be looked at as Luke Skywalker, there's definitely some more talented actors out there that could definitely pull off that Luke Skywalker role. Who knows? But that's just me. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And I'm gonna cut this off. Make sure you tune in Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Perp Show Awards. You're not gonna want to miss out. It's gonna be a dope experience. But I appreciate people that, tapped in real quick. I might do like, you know what? Nah, because Monday will be my last live stream of the year. Next year, we'll definitely try to do some more live streams. I might end up putting 2 episodes of the Perp Show out instead of 1, because usually I like to just do it 1 live stream at the end of the at the end of the month. But maybe I could kick it up to 2. We'll just see how things go and how things are planned out, because me taking this like little week off, I'm gonna kind of be slightly backed up with certain videos, like releasing certain videos at certain times. But I'm coming at 2020 real strong. We're gonna have a shit ton of videos. I'm gonna try to go for like 30 videos next month, just to kick things off. I'm gonna go kind of crazy. I gotta watch A Christmas Carol, the FX special. Definitely gonna have that coming. The Mandalorian review, expect that top of the year. As soon as that gets done airing, I think the last episode's like next Friday. So I should have that out a week after. I'll probably put out the Friday, the following Friday or the following Thursday. Vinland Saga is coming to an end soon, so that episode review is going to be delayed a couple days. We got Power coming back. That's gonna be big for my channel going forward. That's gonna be big on the channel for next month. Movie reviews coming next month. I think the only real movie review I'm going to be really doing next month, as far as I know, is going to be like Bad Boys 3. But like I said, I'll have a ton of other content surrounding that leading up to that. I already have, I can't wait for y'all to see my intro for 2020. It took me some time to really do that, to really figure out how I wanted to come into 2020. It's very familiar, it's very reminiscent of, the intro that you see now. I just hope people like it. Like I said, it's going to change again over time. For right now, I think it's very simple. It's very to the point. It's not too much going on. my whole goal is to get that perfect 10-second intro. I'm working on it. I'm getting close to it. I'll definitely have another trailer coming next month for the Perp Show. I'm gonna drop this little exclusive, a little tidbit, and just give you a little exclusive. So, with the Perp Show 2019, that's gonna be episode 6 of the Perp Show. A great way to end the year, but also start something new. So for next year, it will be when you start seeing the Perp Show episodes, it will be the Perp Show season 2. That's my little tidbit. I know a lot of people, whoever's watching this now, shouts to you. And I appreciate you tuning into this live stream. I got so much more content coming. So it's actually kind of making me nervous, but I'm also just more excited, because I really want things to work out. I want things to be planned out well. I'm extremely, extremely nervous for this live stream, and I've done a bunch of different live streams, but this one is really special to me. The Perp Show Awards, I really wanted to make it special and do something unique. I need to do something to like kind of stand out. I don't want to just be known for live streaming, just the live streaming. Like, live streaming is fun as hell. I love it. But I gotta stand out. 2020, that's what I plan to do, is just to really stand out and really touch base with my subscribers, because I feel like that's one thing that's been kind of lacking. I've been lacking on is really locking down my subscribers and who really fucks with me, because I really want to improve on that. And we're going into my 3rd year of YouTube. By next summer, I'll be 3 years into this, and I'm starting to really grasp what I really want from this platform and my vision and whatnot. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I said, if you want to go check out my Rise of Skywalker review, it's on my channel right now. It's spoilers, little light spoilers, but definitely go check that out. Check out all of my other content on the channel. Till the next time, I will see y'all later. Peace.